the big question today. The 12-beat Soleá type compass, the compass that we use por Soleá, por alegría, por Soleá, por bulería, even por bulería, where does it start? On 1 or on 12? This is a never-ending debate between guitarists, dancers, percussionists, palmeros, and as always, there is no simple answer and simple explanation. But beyond agree, disagree, who's right, who's wrong, this is above all a great opportunity to better understand, practice, and feel this compass. Hi, this is Guillermo Guillen for FlamencoMAPS. Whether you dance flamenco, you sing, you play guitar, you play palmas, you play cajon, or you just love flamenco and compass, welcome to my channel. When learning the Soleá type compass, the one that we use for so many palos like Soleá, bulería por Soleá, all the cantinas like alegría or bulería, we are often taught that despite all logic, it starts on 12 and not on 1. And we usually learn a palmas pattern that starts on 12 like this one, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or por bulería, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But always emphasizing the 12 as the first beat of the compass. If your logical mind kicked in, you've probably asked yourself or someone, why? Why do we start on 12 if it's not the first beat? Or if 12 is actually the first beat, why do we say 12 and not 1? And why don't we change that? Wouldn't this make things much simpler? Just changing the numbers and starting from an accent called 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is very confusing, right? You might think that it's just a convention, like something everyone agrees on, or maybe it is subjective and everyone can do what they want. We just have to accept it without questioning it. But you know me, right? I love questioning the things. You can follow the rules and convention and keep practicing blindly, hoping that with time it will all make sense. Maybe it will eventually, but that's such a waste of time and energy. The point of view may differ depending on various factors, like when, because compasses, rhythmic feels, and soniquete evolve over time. Or who, is it a dancer, a guitarist, or a percussionist who is speaking? Or also the tempo, is it a slow soleá para baile, or is it a bulería? But across all the possible declinations of this compass, there are objective musical elements that actually explain many things. Questioning the logic behind such a counterintuitive convention is both interesting and important. It's interesting because things aren't made randomly. It's confusing, yes, but there are reasons for that. And it's extremely important because how you feel and express rhythm and music changes completely based on how you understand and practice it. Don't misinterpret me here. I'm not saying that there is just one way. You can perfectly live your entire life understanding and feeling the 12 as the first beat of the compass and be an excellent musician or dancer. But there are also a lot of people who struggle to internalize this compass. And there are so many dancers who start on 12 steps that are supposed to start on 1. Most of the time it's because they don't really understand how the compass works, so they struggle to feel it and do what they have to do in rhythm. There is, of course, another endless debate that comes up even before this one. Should we count or not? Can't we just do everything by ear, just feel the rhythm? Sure, why not? If you were born into a flamenco environment, you probably don't need to count. But does that mean that it's true for everyone? That it's not useful to count? That no one should ever count? Not at all. Numbers and counting are just tools. They help understand, and understanding helps practice better, which in turn helps feel better and execute better. Feeling and counting aren't mutually exclusive. They are like two legs to run with. So why decide to run with just one leg when you can use both? And you run faster. Another question. A rhythmic cycle is just that, a cycle. Like a loop or a wheel, like the representation of the compass with the flamenco clock that shows us the cycle as an infinite circle. And where is the beginning of a wheel? So what difference does it really make whether a compass starts on 1, on 12, on 7 or on 39, as long as the wheel keeps spinning? But the tension and resolution areas of the compass, because everything in music is about tension resolution. The way we feel the cycle, the way we create, we phrase, we place and articulate rhythmic elements in the compass. All this depends on the structure of the sequence, where it starts, where it ends, and how things happen in between. In most music genres, especially in Western music and academic notation, the standard starting point for any rhythmic cycle is beat 1, which is typically emphasized with a strong beat. We call this a downbeat. While the emphasis can vary, as I explained here about the 4-beat compass, for most people, dancers, musicians and listeners, it's much easier and it feels much more natural to start any rhythm from a downbeat. The way this Soleá type compass is usually explained and taught is like this: 12 beats, 5 accents, each accent on the last beat of each Lego, on 3, 6, 8, 10, 12. And you see the problem here. There is no accent on 1. It's not a downbeat. That's the reason why for so many people this is very disturbing. So what can we do? Easy. We can look for the closest accent we can find, in this case the 12, because the 3 is kind of far away, and establish the 12 as the beginning of the compass. And this is what we do when we play palmas starting on 12. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or these very common variations that doesn't even mark the beat 1 at all, but the contra, the off beat after 1. 12, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. So we can use the same sequence of Lego blocks, but putting the accent now on the first beat of each Lego. Pa, 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 pa. From this point of view, this compass is just a common horizontal hemiola that alternates sequences of 3 beats and 2 beats. And this is what we find in so many music pieces or songs all over the world.
Everyone there will have moved here.
So problem solved, right? This compass is a hemiola, not quite. This trick might work sometimes, but it still doesn't answer the question, why do we call this first accent 12 and not 1? The hemiola doesn't start on 12. In the hemiola, everything is logical. The first beat is the beat 1. It is an accent and everything tends to start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can count this in many ways, but nobody would count this starting on 12, just flamenco people. And the notation alternating between the 6, 8 and 3, 4 time signatures also clearly conveys this idea. But in the Soleá type compass, that's not how it works. Quick parenthesis, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. The confusion comes from a one-dimensional way of understanding, feeling, and playing the compass. We need to develop a multi-dimensional vision of it. Always keep in mind that the flamenco compass is never just rhythmic. You have to consider all the elements together. The compass, the palmas, but also the guitar, the dance, the cantes that come on top of it. If you consider the compass only at the rhythmic level, just rhythm without taking the rest into account, then yes, it kind of makes sense. This is probably why dancers and percussionists usually strongly feel the 12 as the beginning of the compass, because they are primarily connected to the compass. But what about the rest? If you consider the compass to start on 12, then many other things just don't fit the system. As I have explained in details in this video, the primary Soleá type compass actually does start on 1, with a downbeat on 1 and accents on 4, 7 and 10. Just 4 blocks of 3 beats with an accent at the beginning of each block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the true Soleá Compás, it's not one or the other, it's when the 2 cycles overlap, creating this dynamic, multi-dimensional, polyrhythmic, beautiful compass. Most of the elements of what I call the traditional vocabulary, not the crazy rhythmic stuff you see these days that goes beyond these rules, but the traditional things start on 1 because they come from that primary cycle with an accent on beat 1. In the guitar vocabulary, almost everything starts on 1. Compás, variations, falsetas, remates, compás de alegría, 2, 3, variation por alegría, also starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Falseta por alegría, starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, or rhythmics. Variation por soleá. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Falseta por soleá, starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Compás de soleá por bulería. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Variation de soleá por bulería starting on 1. 1, 2, 3. Falseta de soleá por bulería starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are also many things that start right after 1 and many other things like that, but not starting on 12. Excepted por bulería, more on that in a moment. As the voice is fluid, it's a bit more complex with cante. It's sometimes hard to define exactly where cante starts or ends, but most letras por soleá, alegría and other palos using this soleá type compass come in around 1 and they usually aim for the 3.
Hay quien te va criticando.
En el barrio del balón.
With one exception, the coletillas. The coletillas aim for the 12. There is an explanation for that, but it's for another episode. Many traditional dance elements also start on 1. Llamadas, remates, contestaciones,
Y no le ponen puntales.
escobillas, Another indication that it starts on 1 is that many things finish on 12. On the Soleá type compass, the clear and sharp closings, cierres, are usually on 10. After the cierres, there is a necessary silence to breathe before continuing. This silence is often 2 beats, 11, 12. Musically and rhythmically, it's not so much a part of what comes after as of the conclusion of what was before. And the next compass starts on 1 or right after 1, aiming for the 3.
Hey!
Navego con
In guitar vocabulary, there is this little recurring conclusive element that we call the remate, which lasts for the last 3 beats of the compass, 10, 11, 12, coincidentally or not, the last Lego of our primary compass. And here we feel this as a unit. The 12 is not the beginning of what's coming next, it's part of this. The cierres in a very slow baile por Soleá are certainly not on 11, sometimes on 10, but nowadays usually on 12. We can really feel in this case the conclusive character of the 12. For the baile, sequences of footwork in continued subdivisions like ticota, 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 tic, or taka, 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 usually start on 1, not 12, and finish on 12.
Porque te cambia la anda.
And you can even push the footwork to the very end of the compass and finish after 12. I'm sure you're thinking of that Yamada of yours that really starts on 12, right? Remember, it's a wheel that turns and the end and the beginning can sometimes merge, especially if you use a pickup. Think of the Happy Birthday song. Happy birthday. The word happy is not the beginning of the bar, it's the pickup. Or like when in class the dance teacher says E and then everyone starts E, tak tuk 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 ta. When playing palmas, almost everyone, including myself, starts on 12 because it's easier and more natural to begin with an accent. Now you understand that. However, this isn't the start of the compass, but rather a pickup, like a cue before the real start on 1. So when it comes to dance, we need to distinguish between 2 things: footwork and marcajes. Most footwork sequences traditionally start on 1, but dancers often use a pickup, taking their momentum before starting the actual step. Sometimes the pickup is very light, but it's there. But we feel that it's a pickup, it's not yet the start.
y esperando una cosa parece un mundo.
Is the pickup necessary? No, it's not part of the step really. You could perfectly start from what you do on 1, but a pickup always helps, rhythmically and physically. Instead of starting right away with the jackhammer, it gives impulse, and it can also be very useful in case of a change in tempo to set up the new speed. Now, if we set aside the pickup, it seems like everything starts on 1 except for the marcajes, or marking steps. Dancers usually start the marcajes on 12. Why? Because they are special. Marcajes operate on the secondary level, the one with the accent on 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, emphasizing those accents. So logically, a marcaje can't start on 1 because at this level there is no accent on 1. The closest accent is on 12. The hemiola trick, remember? So yes, when it comes to marcajes, it makes more sense to consider the 12 as the starting point due to gravity. But just like with palmas, it's not because we tend to start a pattern from 12 that the compás itself starts on 12. Do dancers always have to start on 12? No, you can think of your marcajes aiming for the 3 and ending on 12. It's possible.
Y el cante por Soleá.
Bulería is a bit special. Its faster tempo changes the feel of the 12-beat cycle. With the quicker tempo, the weak beats fly by, so we lean more on the accents. So for bulería, today, yes, many things start on 12, and we are closer to the horizontal hemiola of America. So it makes sense to think and feel the beginning of the compás de bulería on 12, reconfiguring our accents on the Lego, putting the 12 here, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at the beginning of the compás. 12 becomes a kind of gravitational center, and many things for bulería do start on 12. But we still call it 12 and not 1 because this is something that evolved over time. Bulería began as a fast soleá, and for bulería you still have the same elements starting on 1, like this. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Same thing in escobillas. You can start escobilla steps on 12 for bulería, but many traditional escobilla steps start on 1. In the old way of playing palmas por bulería in a waltz feel that I explained here, doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is no palma on 12 and the sequence starts on 1 because it relates to the primary Soleá Compás again. And we still find this in any bulería. And of course the typical bulería llamada is on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I know that there are bulería llamadas that start on 12, but they are just variations of the 1, 2, 3 llamada.
Ella dueña de su voluntad.
bulería is rhythmically very rich and versatile, and it offers many options like starting on 12 or starting on 1, and then the different fields that I explained in other videos, the 2 fields, the 3 fields, etc. Never lose sight of its multi-dimensional nature. We can't oversimplify a compass into a one-dimensional cycle, especially not bulería. For bulería, you can really feel the compass in many different ways. So as an exercise, just try doing the same simple compass with palmas or simple marcajes and try to feel it starting from 1 or starting from 12. Although what you do doesn't change, your perception of it can change a lot. Starting on 12 gives a lot of peso, of gravity. Boom, toma. 7, 8, 9, 10, boom, pa. But feeling the start on 1 gives a direction towards the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pa, tum, pam, pa. 7, 8, 9, 10. The modern rhythmic feel of so many palos is very different from what it was 50 or 100 years ago. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing or that it was better before. I'm just saying that things are evolving. Nowadays, what I call the buleriaization seems to be spreading throughout the flamenco repertoire, giving a bulería flavor to many other palos like alegría, soleá por bulería, guajira, or fandango abandolao, verdiales. A kind of gravitation toward accenting and starting everything on 12. I hope that now you understand better why there is no simple answer and why everything is more subtle than it seems. Because marcajes, cajon patterns or palmas pattern feel easier starting on 12, the theory has spread that the compass itself starts on 12. This debate is endless, I don't claim to solve it, but I'm just humbly apporting my point of view and information. Both in flamenco and in life, we are often victims of cognitive biases, seeing things only through our own perspective. A dancer sees things from the dance perspective, a guitarist from the guitar perspective, etc. For those of you who really want to master this compass, it's crucial to understand all its dimensions and develop your ability to listen and decipher what everyone is doing. The way we think the compass shapes the way we feel it, and vice versa, which then affects the way we play, dance, or compose. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped. If it helped, you can always help me by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, share everything to the world. Please also consider supporting my work on Patreon. The link is in the description. And as always, go and visit flamencomaps.com, where I explain my online classes, courses, and my way of teaching flamenco. I see you there. Till then, don't forget, this is all tonteria. Just don't count.